This is a phenomenal study for a couple of reasons. Number one, you have to keep in mind, this is not even really a supplement. This is olive fruit water, which is considered a waste product of all things from olive oil production. Although it could be very rich in something called hydroxytyrosol, which is a real powerful up-and-coming, let's say, plant component, which is very efficient as far as being an antioxidant. But that I digress. But to proceed, what we're looking at here is basically just a 16-day placebo-controlled study, 16 days, in which the participants who were taking the olive fruit water were taking only about 1 ounce, actually 2 ounces per day, but 1 ounce separated by about 6 hours. So 2 ounces total per day. And within 16 days, significant benefits were seen in aerobic exercise capacity, especially at about 75% of VO2 max, about suboptimal levels. So we're not talking to the point where you can't breathe. We're talking about where you can still maintain a solid breath. But even then, one of my favorite parts about the study, before we delve into it and I reveal the whole thing to you, is the reduction in perceived exertion. And for those that hit plateaus or walls, when you hear anything that helps reduce perceived exertion, your ears light up, eyes light up, well, something lights up. But to proceed as follows, let's go right into the study. Olive oil byproduct could aid exercise study. Research is first to examine exercise benefits from drinking olive fruit water. The study, led by nutritional researchers and published in the Journal of Nutrients, is the first to examine the benefits of natural olive fruit water for recreationally active people. Olive fruit water is a waste product, to reiterate, derived from reducing olive oil. Olives contain polyphenols, which have antioxidant properties, and a commercially available olive fruit water. In this case, they used polyphenols. I'm not great with using brand names, but I may refer to it as olive fruit water. But still, just the same, that's what they used, so be it. Contains a number of phenolic compounds and is particularly rich in hydroxytyrosol. And I really encourage you to look into hydroxytyrosol. Again, not very well known amongst most of the community, but it is really a rising star. This is the first study into its potential benefits for people who exercised, involved 29 recreational active participants who consumed either polyphenols, olive fruit water, or a placebo, matched for taste and appearance, because it's a placebo, you don't want to give it away, for 16 consecutive days. And it found positive effects on several key markers of running performance. To move forward, quote, ours is the first study to investigate the use of this olive fruit water in an exercise setting. We found that 16 days of supplementation, a little over 2 weeks, could have a positive influence on aerobic exercise, most notably at sub-maximal levels, where you can still breathe. Quote, we found that reduced oxygen cost and improved running economy, as well as improvements in acute recovery, you're talking 16 days, 2 ounces per day total, indicate it could potentially benefit those who are undertaking regular aerobic exercise training. And they left this part out in the public study, but in the full study itself, I want to reveal this excerpt to you as well. It helps elucidate the other benefit, which I like. Perceived exertion was improved with the phytocomplex beverage. Acute recovery following incremental exercise was also notably improved with the olive fruit water, in this case, referring to the polyphenols. Now let's go to the abstract. A little complicated. I'm just going to take out the middle there, per se, and let us begin. Organic olive fruit water phytocomplex, polyphenols, rich in hydroxytyrosol, otherwise known as HT, on sub-maximal and exhaustive exercise performance and respiratory markers of recovery. 29 recreationally active participants. A lot of this is reiteration, but a little bit more detail. Consumed 2 28 milliliters. So 2 28 milliliters, pretty close to an ounce. So 2 ounces total, close. Or taste and appearance matched placebo over 16 consecutive days. Participants completed demanding aerobic exercise protocol, about 75% maximal oxygen uptake. That's what I was looking for 65 minutes. 24 hours before and submaximal performance exercise test prior in the following 16-day period of consumption. Why don't I bring that up? Basically, the olive fruit water reduced the time constant in the onset of exercise running economy at the lactate threshold, as well as the rating perceived exertion at the lactate turning point. Additionally, the olive fruit water, or polyphenols, led to a modest improvements in acute recovery based upon a shorter time to achieve at the end of exercise. Who uses whilst? Olive fruit water increased time to exhaustion, although not being statistically significant, because again, it only ran 16 days at only 2 ounces. So they don't even know if this is even dose dependent as yet. But that hypothesis would be interjecting something called publisher bias by assuming that maybe more is better or longer will work better. We don't know. According to the study parameters, we know 2 ounces, 16 days yields this particular benefit. But to elucidate again a little further in regard to the consumption in the methodology of the olive fruit water, they consumed these 28 milliliters, close to an ounce of olive fruit water, about 6 hours between meals across that 16 days, if you wanted to attempt to replicate the study in full. But still, just the same, think about this. You're talking something that's generally seen as a waste product, and yet can be very high in this incredible substance, not just other polyphenols, the hydroxytyrosol, which could be an amazing substance altogether on its own from something which typically just gets, well, it's a waste product. So you get the picture. So incredible looking at this particular research on something which often gets overlooked in food production. For those recreational athletes that operate at a suboptimal level, aerobic capacity, 75%, this can be pretty incredible, just the same. So you have to thank the researchers, and even though they use a particular brand, still just the same, why deny you the outcome? And what do you mean? Share it with you. So why should I deny sharing the outcome with you and I keep it all to myself? Still just the same. Again, I'll be gone for a little while, just about 7 to 10 days. So if I don't respond to comments right off the bat, please forgive me. As soon as I get back, I shall. And always gratitude to the researchers. To reiterate, I am always humbled you watch, to reiterate often, and I look forward to see you all next time. Get you.